Welcome to Overtime the Podcast, a show dedicated to all things watches, with a special love for micro brands and their affordable range. I'm your host Praka, and some of you might know me as Kinda Average Watches. Join me as we explore new releases, share tips on building your collection, and put in some overtime with hands-on reviews of the latest watches. Whether you're a bit of a pro or you're just getting into the hobby, this podcast will keep you entertained with great stories from the people in the industry, casual conversations, and guest hosts who bring their own unique perspectives. Let's get started. G'day listeners. Thanks for tuning into Overtime the Podcast, proudly sponsored by Watchpoint. Today, I'm so stoked to have this man join me today. I call this man a good mate of mine. We frequently, and I say frequently, almost every day, have good chats about watches, about life, about anything. And I really appreciate that he's taking his time to come on the podcast today. So welcome to the podcast, Eddy. How you going?
Hey, Praka, thank you for having me. It's an honor being here. So shout out to, to all the listeners. Praka was probably one of the first people I ever met at a Red Bar event, and he was probably one of the kindest guys you'll ever meet in real life as well, if you get the pleasure to meet him. So looking forward to this pod, Praka.
Too kind, mate. Too kind. Appreciate those kind words. Yes, and same to you as well. This man is an absolute gentleman and a gem of a person. So again, really appreciate you coming on. So today, a couple of things have happened in the watch world over the last couple of weeks, and namely nothing bigger than Watches and Wonders. Watches and Wonders is one of those things that I guess as Overtime the podcast, we don't really cover as much. It's one of those events that have watches that are, what do you say, at a different price point to what we normally discuss. However, Watches and Wonders being the big event as it is, we decided, hey, we should do an episode about it. And, we talk about it anyway. So why not? We'll get into it. So, but anyway, before we get going too far into the episode, we'll always kick off with the wrist check. Eddy, as a guest, what do you got on your wrist, mate?
So today I've got my Erebus Ascent 39 Aventurine on. I have a feeling that you may or may not be wearing something similar, potentially, based off a wrist shot I saw earlier.
You're right there. You're right there. We didn't plan this, by the way. Definitely not planned. I am also wearing the Erebus Ascent, the purple Helix. So I received this in a partial trade a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah, it's been only a couple of days. It's awesome. I mean, I've had hands-on with Eddy's Ascent in the past, and I was very impressed, and I'm equally still as impressed wearing it. So yeah, fantastic watches to wear. Two micro brand watches to talk about what is not really a micro brand heavy episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. We would like to start off with probably a fan favorite, or I would say my favorite, one of my favorites releases that happened in Watches and Wonders in 2025, which is the Grand Seiko SLGB 001 or SLGB 003. So, first impressions, Eddy.
Yeah, so I guess the elephant in the room here is is this the ultra fine accuracy one? It is.
Correct.
The ultra fine accuracy, so 20 plus or minus 20 seconds per year, which is absolutely crazy. I've got a SPGA 443, so the Shunbun, and I did a year-long experiment actually where I tracked the accuracy over 365 days. I think I've got to open my accuracy app, so it gained 90.8 seconds over 382 days. So if that's anything to base the accuracy of this off, so I'll take a step back first. So the Shunbun, apparently the movement's accurate to plus minus 1 second a day, 15 seconds per month on average.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see how, what I actually experienced in real life is actually going above and beyond that. So I reckon this movement could come in even tighter than 20 seconds a year.
Yeah, an even tighter
That's crazy.
tolerance. Yeah, and I think that's what I mean, you've obviously got experience with it too, but what I've read as well is that the tolerances are usually a bit understated for Grand Seiko, which is I think it's also true for Seiko as well. Not always, of course, depending on which caliber, but I feel like some of them they definitely go under. So yes, of course, we have to talk about the biggest thing in this, which I would think is is the ultra fine accuracy movement, the new caliber 9R B2, which I believe is based on the 9RA caliber that was released not too long ago. And yeah, it's really a step up, isn't it, in movement accuracy, but also in just the technology itself. I mean, spring drive in itself is something unique to Grand Seiko. So having that and making it even better in this really cool package is awesome. And it has a 72-hour power reserve as well. And this is just, we're just talking about the mechanics here. And, just going past the mechanics, looking at the watch itself. I mean, we know Grand Seiko makes beautiful dials, and this is no different.
Mm.
It's two stunning dials. Of course, it comes in the titanium. It also comes in a platinum as well. And not only that, it comes in a very sleek package. The watch itself comes with the other big news is the new bracelet. You as a Grand Seiko owner with a bracelet, like I want to know your excitement or your disappointment in what you already have to what's being offered.
Yeah, so obviously with this new bracelet comes the on the fly micro adjust. So I think there's like three different positions that you can actually adjust the bracelet to. So that's super handy. I guess this being a titanium piece, I never found, and also my Shunbun also being a titanium piece, I never really found the bracelet to be too chunky. Maybe that's just because it's a obviously like a titanium bracelet.
Mm,
But I know the typical complaints with Grand Seiko bracelets, there's barely any taper, which I agree to some extent, but I think mine probably tapers from what, 21 mils to 18 mils. So I think that's pretty standard taper. It's not going to be as aggressive as like a Rolex, what, 20 to 16 mil taper.
sure, sure.
But I think obviously a step in the right direction, having that micro adjust. Keen to see it, I guess, eventually roll out to other models as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think they mentioned I was watching a video on Teddy Baldessar's channel with Joe Kirk, the Grand Seiko, I guess, rep in the US, and he mentioned that he mentioned it without mentioning it, basically saying he can't promise anything, but it would be I guess you could envisage that it will roll out eventually to all the other models, and but I assume that the production of these things will take a little while to ramp up. And I guess that's probably same with the movement as well. It's going to take a little while. And of course, like I said, it was a neat little package. It's the 37 mil case. It's similar in design to the Evolution 9 cases, which is I think there were that 38 and 40 mil designs previously. This one's 37, and clocking it I think it was 11 mil thick or just over 11 mil thick. So this is going to wear really nicely on your wrist as well. And obviously, like I think I already said about the dials as well, some pretty cool textures in there. Titanium is cool. I think I like the platinum dial better, the
Oh,
blue,
okay.
but obviously the platinum has the price tag to match, which I think we should probably mention that this is not cheap. Both of these models, we're looking at the titanium version, 10,900 US dollars, and the platinum version, $39,000, which is limited to 80 pieces. Yeah, look, it's not cheap, but it is, I would say, like a novelty release. When brands release watches and Watches and Wonders is almost a showcase. Yeah, look, this is what we can do. And I feel like hopefully it rolls down to some of the stainless models as well. The not only the micro adjust, but also the movement. But I think that other Evolution 9 models are roughly around the same price tag as well.
I think for Shunbun now that's around 10 grand, but I know, I think off the top of my head, the Evo 9 model's around what, 15, 14, 15K now in Australia?
Yeah, so yeah, roughly around the same. I
Yeah.
mean, right. Must say that at the point of recording, the Australian dollar is absolutely tanked. Thanks to a lot of world forces, I should put it at that. But yes, I think it's around 15K. Yes, the Evolution 9 collection. So Aussie dollars. So you're looking at yeah, about 10 to 12 US. So it's about right in the same ballpark. So yes, it's a gorgeous watch, and yes, I am here for it all.
Not keen to see hopefully more 37 mil pieces from Grand Seiko given this new movement, but
Mm,
obviously it will take a bit more time with this higher end, so to speak, spring drive movement
mm.
being just released.
Yeah. For sure. I have a 37 mil Grand Seiko, albeit in the 9F quartz, and that's my sweet spot. I can go bigger, but it would be nice to have a spring drive roll down to the steel models at 37 mil. Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
All right. Well, I guess from one big release to another big release, another one that went all around watch media. In fact, probably arguably the biggest release of Watches and Wonders is from the Crown, the Rolex Land Dweller, their reintroduction of a integrated stainless steel sports model to their lineup. What were your thoughts when you saw Roger Federer rocking one of these things in the Alps, drinking his coffee or whatever he was drinking?
Wasn't surprised to see him being one of the Rolex ambassadors, right? So if
Mhm.
anything, I think a lot of us can say that, yeah, obviously he confirmed the rumors, the leaks that were floating around.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that sort of viral marketing, so to speak, that, I think Daniel Craig does like quite a bit with Omega. He's wearing a brand new release a few weeks before they actually get released, and I think it works pretty well. I think it's a nice little way to showcase it, and it builds up a bit of hype.
Definitely. I think planned leaking, I would probably say.
Plant leaky. Yeah, sounds about right. Okay, so what is this? Look, it's a I would say it's a reiteration or it's basically like a recreation of a oyster quartz model from the 1970s. So it's very much the whole 70s integrated steel sports watch design I guess you see in many models, all the Genta models, Tissot, Omega, they've all had their own variants of the integrated sports style watch, and of course Rolex had it too in the Oyster Quartz, and now it's back. It's back, and it's a little bit different. It's back with a not a quartz model. It's back with a mechanical piece, and in fact, there's something really special about this movement as well. So, what's the difference in here? I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to understand it, but I think from my understanding is that it is a different escapement. So it's not using a Swiss lever escapement. It's using the something called the natural escapement, but Rolex calls it the Dynapulse escapement. And what does it bring? It brings some more efficiencies. I mean, it looks good, and also the accuracy as well. Now, I can't remember how accurate this thing is, but I think it's plus or minus two.
-2 seconds.
Yep.
Classic Rolex, was it superlative chronometer spec?
Yep, yep. And it's also Rolex's first high beat movement, which to be honest, I was a bit like, oh, I thought they would have made a high beat movement before then, but yeah, what do I know? I'm not a big Rolex expert, but yeah, it's their first high beat movement as well. What do you think about this release? I mean, it is a Rolex, so immediately there's hype around this model, but also there was some criticism, quite a bit of criticism actually, I would say.
I feel like because Rolex is obviously the number one for mass market watchmaker that people
Mm.
would probably agree with me
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, they always get flack. So even when I don't know the left-handed GMT Sprite came out, people were kind of laughing at it. It's like, oh, that's all Rolex did. They just flipped their
Yeah.
watch around 180 degrees and called that a release.
Yeah.
So I think they'll always attract some sort of flack. I think for me, I think I like it. I
Mm.
would like to see it in the flesh first.
Mm.
Things that I am probably not as fond of on this is the Cyclops.
Hmm.
I'm undecided on how I feel about that, but given it's got the 6 and 9 Explorer style indices,
Mm.
Arabic numerals, I'm not sure if maybe a free would have been better than having a date at 3 o'clock or a free Arab indice.
Sure.
But again, probably something that, yeah, we'll have to see in person to see what it's really like.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, definitely that sort of takes away from the symmetry of the dial. And I think as much as I like the classic Explorer style 369, the indices, I feel like there's a bit too much going on with this model with the 369. I feel like is it the rose gold model?
Yeah, with
Which
the
one?
diamonds,
With the diamonds, yeah. I mean, I'm not too chuffed about the diamonds, but just with the stick indices, I feel more
clean.
clean. That's exactly it. Clean. It feels a bit more cohesive. Is
Yeah, I agree.
it feels like it's a bit out of place, the 369 for me. And also the fluted bezel, I feel like it's a lot considering you have the integrated bracelet already. I guess what would you call this? Like a 5 link Jubilee style
Mm.
integrated bracelet and the honeycomb dial. It feels like there's a lot of different textures there that maybe doesn't go well together. But that again, that's just my initial impression. We have seen this style like waffle dials on an AP, you know, and it looks fine. But I feel like it maybe because we've so used to seeing that, maybe that's why. I'm thinking, oh, this doesn't look very cohesive and clean. But again, that's just my 2 cents there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I can probably, I mean, some of the date justs that they have out there, right? They've got the fluted bezel, they've got you get your Jubilee bracelet, and you might have a motif dial.
Mm-hmm.
Equally as much stuff going on, but I think for this, I think Rolex is smart. They'll eventually release a more plainer dial, but I guess this is the heavy hitter to get things started, right?
Yeah,
The novelty, as you'd say.
exactly. Very much the same in as the Grand Seiko, albeit in a very different lane. It's a showcase. Look at this. Look at this new model we released. Here it is, and here it is in the. Is it platinum
That's
as well? Is
Yeah, I
there?
think was it a stainless steel and a platinum?
Yeah. So it's not some pretty cool models. So you got the Ever Rose Gold, which is kind of like the
Yep,
rose gold type thing. You've got steel, and you've got white gold. And you do have it in, is it two different sizes as well? So you got 36 mil and a 40 mil.
and 40. Yeah, it'll be
Yep.
interesting to see how the 36 wears actually. We'll probably wear like a little bit bigger with the
Yeah.
integrated bracelet.
Yes, yeah, probably close to a 37 or a 38. Or like most integrated place, it's always about 1 or 2 mil bigger. But yeah, I mean, we definitely can't take away from the new movement. I think it's pretty cool to see a bit of innovation in the
Innovation.
movement space. Yes, definitely. And I think in general, Rolex is a very big company, very safe by all means. They don't really move very quickly in terms of new designs or new models. So to see this was cool, albeit probably not what everyone's cup of tea, but it's something different. So yeah, I like it. I like it in that sense that it's different, but overall as a package, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think I'm still on the fence until I see it in real life.
Yeah. And of course, we have to talk about the pricing and like it's very expensive is all I would say. I think the base models, the steel, I think it starts around 13,300 Swiss francs, which is what's that?
Yes, I'm
In,
on the Rolex site, so 36 mil steel, 20, let's say about 22.7K, 40 mil steel, 24.2K,
mm,
and I can only imagine the precious metal ones. So Ever
yeah.
Rose Gold, 74.9K, and Platinum, 101.3.
There you go. There you go. Some big money there, and yeah, a bit different. But yes, we'll leave it there. Again, another probably arguably the biggest release of Watches and Wonders, at least to majority of the media. So cool. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. And I think this one equally excited me as much as the Grand Seiko release. In fact, probably just a little bit more, which is the Nomos. So it's the Nomos Club Sport Neomatic World Timer. I think this is cool. I guess I may be a bit impartial. I like Nomos. I really like Nomos. I enjoy my Nomos club a lot, and I like seeing different complications as well. Nomos did release a two-date complication, which I think puzzled a lot of people a couple of months ago. I don't know if you recall that.
I think I'm not as well read with Nomos like yourself,
Yeah,
Becca,
they
but
released
I'm on their website.
a complication which had, I mean, a watch which literally had the date displayed twice in two different ways. Now, I wasn't quite sure about why they did that. I was a bit confused, but something sort of I felt like, oh, maybe this is alluding to something. They're doing something different with it. And I may be wrong, possibly most likely wrong, but we're looking at the world timer, which also has this disc that's going around on the outside of the dial, I guess on the inner bezel or inside of the bezel. So as world timers work, you have, I guess, your time shifts as you click on the button on the 2 o'clock. You start circling through the different world times on display. I mean, you've also got your secondary display as well, and your AM and PM indicator. So I think there's a bit of there's a bit of maybe they use some of that movement part in here, but anyway, I could be wrong. But I just think it's a beautiful watch. Nomos makes some
Mm.
really nice pieces, and it's a I don't know, it just felt like something new. I felt like Nomos maybe doesn't iterate as much as well. They have a lot of colors. They always seem to, whenever they have a new model, they have a lot of colors and a lot of different variants. But to see something like a world timer from them was cool. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner than I've got the Zurich World Timer up,
Yes.
and I think I do much prefer the Club Sport Neomatic World Timer.
Yeah.
It's just a bit cleaner looking. I do like the 3 o'clock. Is that like a 24-hour register?
So that's like
Or second
a
time zone?
yeah, so it's like a second time zone. So you got obviously at a glance. You can see all the 24 time zones. You just press through. And then, yeah, I think if you go to the details, so it says the time at the location you've set as your home time, or the second time zone is showed by an hour scale with a 6 digit and a single hand. So you got day and night phases as well, which is pretty cool. And obviously, depending on the color variant that you go to, it might be, yeah, easier or harder to read that AM PM indicator. Yeah, I really like this. And a 40 mil seems reasonable as well for this style of case. It's not like the clubs, which have a much longer lugs than the pneumatic style. So it's a lug to lug of 48 mil, which is the same as wait for it, my 36 mil
Classic
Nomos
Nomos.
club. Yeah, exactly. So it definitely wears much nicer. Well, the dimensions suggest it wears much nicer. And yeah, and Nomos is. I mean, I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at their website on their the movement as well. You get a really well finished watch and also a really well finished movement as well. Even in the model, the club model, which is the base model, the club campus, really, the Nomos's base model, it's already finished to a very nice standard. And I feel like this is just a step up just from looking at the renders. And yeah, I can't fault this release at all, to be honest. Anything you don't quite like with this release?
For me, maybe the 2 o'clock crown, but then I can't really imagine where else I'd put it.
The world timer, yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
World
no.
timer, so you need to be able to actuate that time zone disc.
To be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with world timers, so I'm not really sure how you would actuate them. Because I know there's a brand called Batavia. I don't know if no, sorry.
Okay.
Uh, is it Batavia? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Batavi. Sorry, not Batavia, Batavi. So there's the Batavi Geograph. So Batavi, and then just type in world timer. So this is probably something that I really like the look
Oh yeah.
of, and yeah, it's a cool world timer as well. But I'm not so sure on how the mechanism works. But it does look like it's
Ten
very
o'clock.
similar. But yeah, it's at the 10 o'clock instead of the 2 o'clock. So I don't know what you prefer. I actually like the 2 o'clock over the 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
if I'm being
I
honest.
feel like maybe because the 10 o'clock on this Batavi Geograph kind of reminds me of the 10 o'clock helium escape valve on Seamaster Professionals,
Yes,
Seamasters.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
maybe I'm a bit more desensitized to that look.
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's a Dutch micro brand. They do some really cool stuff. So that's a much cheaper option if you're looking to get into one of these. But if you did want one of these, I mean, you're looking at 7,790 Australian dollars. Now, I think there is many colorways. However, if you're trying to buy one, I think you're gonna have to join a waiting list, is my understanding. Every model that I clicked on can't buy it. that's join the waiting list. So I'm not sure how many models, how many units have actually been made and released, but yes, if you are keen, check it out. It's also 4,700 US dollars for everyone playing along in the US. But yeah, that's one of my top releases as well. Let's move on to the next one. This one I would say is probably a another classic release or a return of a classic. This is, I mean, you added this to the
I did.
episode, so I'll let you introduce this one.
So this one is the Cartier tank Guilloche, pardon my French. Apparently, it's a model that's been around. I don't know the history of it. It's been around what since 1928, according to this article.
Mm.
So you could say it's like a reissue. They also released a limited edition one where the hour marker is kind of in the top left rather than in the middle. And then you've obviously got the aperture slightly curved, like smiley aperture for the minute track. Whereas on the limited edition platinum one, it's kind of offset a little bit, shaded by 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's very different. Oh, so that's the platinum, is it? That's the
Yeah,
limited edition.
yeah.
Okay.
So platinum, I think they're limited. I can't remember how many units, but then the regular production model, obviously not limited, a little bit cheaper, but it's still, I don't know, 20K or something.
Still something a bit insane, but yeah, I mean, for those playing along at home, obviously everything will be in the show notes, so click along and you can have them play along at home. But I guess the word, again, I'm sorry for butchering French as well, is a guichet. So it translates to like a window or a counter. So that's essentially what this watch is, right? It's basically looks like a tank without a dial, but fully steel or fully a block of metal, whether it's gold, steel, or platinum, and you have two windows, window at the top or on the left, depending if it's a limited edition model. You got a window at the top that shows your hour, and then you've got your yeah, like Eddie said, the little smiley cutout down the bottom. So this is a bit different, right? I mean, let's be honest. It's a bit out there. It's not like you see a lot of these. It's not like your typical.
Very polarizing.
Yes, polarizing is the right word, but it's pretty cool, pretty chic. Cartier
Yeah.
is one of those brands that I admire a lot. They've done a lot for watchmaking history, and they still continue to. And this is something which I think we spoke about this before this episode, and we'll get into it as well. Obviously, there have been other companies that have done similar sort of jump hour complications, and they've also done something very similar in terms of the design because this isn't a new design. Cartier did this in the 1920s, like you said. So there have been other brands that have essentially use that same design. But it's cool to see Cartier release it back again as well. And I'm sure the vintage market for this, if there was many of these vintage pieces around, would just be skyrocketing as we speak. So speaking of the models that we were talking about before this, I think we can't mention this and not mention the other. I guess if you want to say big jump hour release as well, which is a micro brand. It's Main Watches from Sweden, and they did a collaboration with Nico Leonard, the proprietor of Pride and Pinion, and of course the YouTube channel as well, Nico Leonard. It is another jump hour complication with very similar aesthetics, albeit with a very different case design. What do you think? Was it a bit of a coincidence? They both came out very similar.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think I like what Nico's done, right? Something different rather than another diver or I don't know, another Garda style watch.
Yeah.
It's not something for everyone, which I can appreciate. And I think, frankly, I like this design.
Yeah, I agree too. I think Nico is also very polarizing. He has a lot of opinions of things, and sometimes I think that can rub people the wrong way. But I can't fault this watch at all. Like you say, it's a great looking piece. It's well designed, and I like the whole rubber strap. Sort of it's a dressy piece that's sort of dressed down
Hmm.
with the rubber strap. I really like the red dial. That's probably my favorite out of all the releases. And I think I saw a photo on Main's Instagram, red dial, black strap. It looked really good. What would
Crisp.
yeah, look crisp. That's it. Yeah. What would your be pick of the bunch be? Yeah.
I think for me, I'm liking the black. It's just simple. It's almost like an enamel black. Goes with everything. I can only imagine how this might look dressed up on like a leather strap.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is it an integrated? It's an integrated strap, but I'm sure you can take it out. I hope so.
Yeah.
But it looks well integrated into the case, which again is something to give them props for. It's very easy to just slap on an FKM rubber and be done with it, or a Tropic or something, or just anything. But this is well thought of. But yes, of course, moving back to the Cartier, it's a huge, I think it's a very big release. Cartier always releases cool stuff. I think every Watches and Wonders, they seem to always release some cool stuff. They released that, if I recall correctly, that, oh, man, I don't remember talking about it ages ago, but it was like a reverse of where the hour hand and basically went around the other way, so anti-clockwise or
Oh
something.
yes, I remember. Is it like
Yeah,
a Santos or I can't remember.
yeah,
I remember that
it was something a bit different. If I
last
recall
year.
it, well, yeah, last year. So they always seem to different, but that one's probably a bit more polarizing. I reckon this again is a bit polarizing, but it's cool. It's very brutalist in a way as well.
Steampunky.
Yeah, exactly. Steampunky, elegant, brutalist, all together. It's also a bit, of course, expensive. I don't even know what the price is off the top of my head, but I think did you say it was 20K
It's I
roughly?
think I might have read somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised 20, 30 grand just for the regular one.
So not cheap, of course, but I think like anything that a lot of these bigger brands, oh wow, okay, 40,000. Yeah, the rose gold one is 40,000 pounds. Okay. Uh,
There we
not
go.
cheap. Not cheap.
Hopefully
Uh,
hopefully the Cartier boutique gets one so we can check it out in person. 'Cause I
yeah,
think this would be
exactly.
awesome to see in real life.
Exactly. I just started Googling it and there's one on Chrono 24 from 1997,
323K.
300 and 338,000.
Oh, 3 foot.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay. Well, maybe whatever the new ones cost must be probably a bit more reasonable than this platinum one, but yeah, wow. Very cool. We must not forget to mention as well, if you want an alternative to this, a affordable alternative, there is the Ferrisuit jump out, which is identical, I would say.
I think it's like I think I think Elephant in the Room, Parachute probably more of a they do a couple of homages here and there, but
Yes.
I think it's probably like one of the more tasteful homages that they've done. It seems like this piece here could be a discontinued piece, but I think I'd be happy to rock that. I think it's a good homage to the Tank Piaget. Probably
Yep.
uses the same movement as the main. I think it's like a seagull jump hour
Yep.
movement, something like that. You've got a nod to the Cartier crown with a little blue
Cabochon.
tip. Yeah,
Mm.
cabochon.
Yep. Yep. I'm learning, Eddie. I'm learning
Yeah,
cabochon.
there we go. I think if they were to, I think it'd be cool if they re-release these. Yeah,
You
Parachute.
might if I was Ferrisuit,
I
I'll
think
be
so too.
starting it back up again and you'd be selling them like hotcakes. There
Yeah,
are, of course, Mercure and Pierre Paulin, who are two other Chinese brands who do these jump hour watches as well. And I think Suggest also does some jump hour watches.
yeah, I
So
think I've seen a couple.
yeah, you don't seem to see a lot of jump hour watches in the micro brand scene. So I think it's really, I guess the old alternative is either the looking at the homage route or this main, I guess, which is obviously a micro brand. So yeah, and there's obviously I think there's Fears as well. Fears also do a jump hour as well, but you're looking at around 5,000, which is
Yeah,
not cheap. I think there's the micro brand in Singapore, Vario. which do a jump hour as well, which are much more affordable using the same Seagull ST 1721 movement as well. So yeah, I mean that movement is in found in many of these more affordable jump hour watches.
2025 will be the year of a jump hour complication. Who knows?
Maybe you heard it here first, guys. 2025 or maybe 2026 by the time all the printers go. Brr. If you're into microbrand and independent watches, which you clearly are as you're listening to this podcast, you got to check out Watchpoint. Watchpoint is the newest destination in Melbourne, Australia for microbrand and independent watches. But it's more than just a brick and mortar store. It's a hub for watch enthusiasts. Come check out brands such as HZ, Bazel, Second Hour, RZE, and Monbray, and other exciting watches you won't find anywhere else. Watchpoint is also your go-to website for buying said watches, exploring microbrand profiles, discovering new releases, and staying informed with editorials, industry insights, and buying guides. So if you're keen on trying out your favorite microbrand watches, drop into Shop 304, Level 3, The Block Arcade on Collins Street, or visit watchpoint.com.au or check them out on Instagram at watchpoint.au for more. Okay. Yeah,
Next
maybe.
one.
All right, let's do it. What do we got now? Well, we can't talk watches and wonders without talking about this brand. It is Tudor. Tudor. Eddie's a bit of a Tudor expert. Released a- Tudor released a couple of watches this time around. We'll start off with Pelagos Ultra, which is a beefier version of the Tudor Pelagos. You have the new Black Bay 68, which is like a sized up version of the Black Bay 58. And then you've got Black Bay Burgundy, which is a new burgundy slash red colorway of the Black Bay 58. And you've also got the Black Bay Pro Opaline. So it's the same, but in a white dial, essentially.
So to start from the top, I think the more I look at the Pelagos Ultra, I guess the more I like it. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like the pro, I guess Ultra, it's a pro version. It's
Yep.
cool, it's beefy. It's got, I think it's like the first, one of the few watches that has loom on the actual clasp. Because I know those Pelagoses have the springy clasp, which apparently is quite comfortable, and they've incorporated a bit of loom there, so that's very interesting.
That is very interesting. The only time I've ever seen like loom on a strap is, those like loomed NATO straps that you see.
The full loom ones.
The full loom ones, yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also apparently with this, I think it has probably one of the newer meta certified movements. So was it 0 to 4 seconds and some crazy magnetic resistance, which is probably the main. I think that to me that's the main appeal of metas.
the magnetic resistance or the accuracy or both.
I think a bit. I think a bit of both, right? So you've got that kind of 4 second, that absolute 4 second a day accuracy, pretty similar to Rolex, plus or minus 2 seconds. And then I think what tops is probably that. I think it's like 15,000 Gauss, some crazy magnetic resistance. So you
Mm.
won't have like airport X-rays or random magnets magnetizing your watches.
Yeah, I know. I think I've read somewhere, I don't have either Rolex movements or Meta certified movements, so I can't tell you off firsthand. But what I did read that apparently in the real world, it's the plus 4 seconds or the Meta certified movements are better if you're wearing it long term. Now, I
Right.
don't know why, but apparently it is, and it's easier to set. And yeah, so anyway, because I guess you won't be late. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because it's always going forward.
Fast.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that's the reason why. But yes, it's cool. I really think it's also a very cool release. I mean, it's meant to be a heavy watch, and it is, but not literally because it's titanium and it's light, super light as well. It is titanium, right?
Yeah. It's
Am I
titanium,
titanium?
the
Of course.
Pelagos
Yep.
Ultra.
Ultra, yep. So yeah, it's a light watch, yet it's a beefy watch. I think they've done it really well. And 1,000 meters of water resistance, that's yeah. I mean, look, if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I also like that they haven't messed around with the design a lot as well. Like I like the blue Pelagos, the baby blue, I guess is what you call it, and the liner, the three lines. It looks compact, looks
Mhm.
symmetrical, and it doesn't feel because I think is it the previous release or the
Yeah. It
couple
had
of
like
releases
a
ago?
had like a whole Star Wars intro of like
Yeah.
text on the dial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought that was a bit too much. To be honest, this feels more cleaner. So yeah, cool. All right, well, that's a tick for us from the Pelagos Ultra, and I think let's move on to the Black Bay 58 Burgundy. It's a Black Bay 58. We know what that looks like. It's the same but different. A different color dial, different color bezel, and it does come with the new 5 link or the Jubilee style bracelet as well, and it comes with that the new T-fit clasps. So
Yep.
I don't hate it. I like the look of it. I think it's great. But again, it probably felt, I think I wouldn't say disappointed, but I felt like Tudor would do a little bit more with the 58
Mm,
range.
I agree.
Feel like there was probably could have gone to the 54 range and expanded that a little bit, but I guess they're playing the slow game. They are, after all, the sister company of Rolex, so they are going to play that game. But I mean, there's not a lot wrong with it, is there?
Yeah, apparently it's like is it like an homage to a early Tudor prototype in the 90s, like a sub prototype that never got announced? Something along
Yeah,
the lines of that.
yeah. The Red Submariner. I think it was early 2000s,
Yeah,
if I read correctly, or maybe in the 90s. You could be right, but it's not quite there, is it? It's a Black Bay 58.
more of a gentle nod to, I guess, their past, right? But
The colors,
I
yeah,
think I like, yeah,
yeah. It looks
I
great.
think,
I reckon the press photos don't quite look as representative as some of the wrist shots that I've seen so far on Instagram. I think it looks better on a lot of the wrist shots. And we have obviously a friend of the show and a WA local as well that has one of these, and we're yet to see it in the person, but in the flesh. But we've definitely seen some photos of it, and it does look really good.
yeah, it looks great. Can't wait to see it in the flesh. But I think, like you said before, Tudor playing it safe. I think they've had a pretty good past couple of years at Watches and Wonders. I think it was like 2 years ago, they announced the Black Bay 54. Then
Mm.
last year, they announced the Black Bay 41 monochrome. So I think they can really just leverage and sit on their brand equity, so to speak, or
Yeah.
the hype that they've sustained from those releases, milk that out as long as possible. Kind of like how Toyota never they have yet to put a turbocharger in the Toyota 86 because they know they can probably milk sales for a very long time before doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of how
yeah.
I see Rolex and Tudor playing it out, right? So they have some smart people up there, so I think they know exactly what they're doing.
There's no doubt in there, but as watch enthusiasts, I'm sure we
We can
always
only wish and
demand
hope.
more. Exactly. Wish and hope and demand more. But yes, I agree there with you. But all right, well, 58, talk about 58. Let's talk about the 68,
Yes, the bigger brother.
the bigger brother at 43 mils. So it's not 39, Black Bay 58. 43. It's I mean it's the same but different, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like I wouldn't even say it's like the Tudor's equivalent to the Sea Dweller because the Sea Dweller is obviously that deeper
Mm,
diving watch that Rolex has, probably more akin to the Tudor Pelagos Ultra or the Pelagos. But yeah, a 43 mil case. I think a lot of people commented on the lack of rivets on the bracelet. So you've got that nice taper now, rather than the kind
nice.
of stepped bracelet, which I think as a Tudor guy, I never found, personally I never had a huge issue with the rivets, but I think people just prefer not having them because they're faux rivet. So I think it'll
I,
be interesting to see if Tudor rolls out this bracelet maybe to other watches later down the track.
mm. No, actually, I personally don't mind the rivets either. I mean, the Oris Diver 65 has the exact
Yeah.
same faux rivets as well. I think it's a bit of a odd to a nod to the past, how they used to
Mm.
do them. I think it looks fine to me. Doesn't bother me that much. But hey, but if people, want that, and this feels like I guess being the bigger size as well, it almost feels like we're moving away from the vintage inspired line, which is the Black Bay 58. So I guess naturally it makes sense to remove those rivets to make it a bit more modern. I guess this satisfies a lot of people that wanted the Black Bay 58, but in a bigger size, right?
Exactly.
So I think they nailed it on the head in that instance, and from that perspective, sorry. But 200-meter water resistance still, like you said, it feels like if it's a bigger watch, if it's potentially, big case, bigger, I'm not sure exactly about the case thickness. It's the same thickness as the Black Bay 41, which is 13.6 mil thick, which is a little bit thicker than a few of the other models as well that they've got in their lineup. Feels like they could have possibly went up to 300 meters. I don't know, like you said, make it a bit more like a professional diver as opposed to just a yeah. But anyway, that I'm just picking holes at it now. I still think it's a good watch. There's a lot of specs in here that is great. Like it's still got the METAS certified movement as well, and it's still got your bracelet, it's still your T-fit, and
You fit.
yeah, all the goods that you want out of a watch, and at a pretty decent price as well, I would say.
Yeah, I think coming in at what, 6,990 Australian dollars. So what, five 5K USD,
Yeah.
5.556.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, it's not like it's not. I would say it's slightly pushing above the where Tudor normally sits, I guess. But that's just the world global risk watch market. I feel like every brand keeps going up. But yeah. So that's the 68. Again, like the 58 Burgundy. I think it's fine. It doesn't excite me terribly, but I think it's not a bad release at all. I think it's a good,
Yeah,
yeah, good release
agree.
for them. And then we come to the Black Bay Pro Opaline.
Yes, the Tudor finally released their own an homage to what we've seen, what Sujas and San Martin release, which is essentially the Black Bay Pro but polar.
Yeah, and it was the funniest thing, hey. When they first released it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, they just homaged an homage.
I think I'm also waiting for the day they release the. I think a lot of people are waiting for the day they release a Pelagos GMT because I know San Martin have also
Ooh.
done one.
Have they? Oh yeah, they have, haven't they? Yeah,
I think I can't remember which YouTuber did it.
it was the NH they used the NH34, didn't they?
Correct,
In
yeah.
that one. So yeah, it fit. I mean, I've had a San Martin before and you have it too, and it's honestly yeah, it blows me away how good and how well it's built and how well it
Exactly.
looks as well for the money you get. But anyway, joking aside, it is literally the Black Bay Pro in a white doll. That's what it is. You know what you're getting. You're getting a 39 mil case. You're getting that same everything really. There's nothing different apart from what you're getting. But again, criticism of the Black Bay Pro was that it was quite a bit of a
Thick.
chonker, quite thick, correct. Not I think it was a 15 mil Black Bay Pro. It's yeah, it's noticeably thick on your wrist when you see it. It's 15 point, I don't even know off the top of my head, but yes, it's not thin. And I would think that oh, maybe it's not. It's 14.6. It's still quite thick, which I feel like it could be a little bit thinner, I guess, from a GMT perspective. There are a lot of GMTs out there that are thinner. I mean, again, another watch which I can't really fault. It's still a great watch, still looks good, and it's still reasonably priced as well for a Tudor. Anyway,
Yeah, safe release.
safe release. Yeah, I mean that's really the theme of the entire Watches and Wonders release, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Safe.
Especially for this year, safe.
Safe. And speaking of safe, I guess the final one we might as well, we pretty much talked about every other Tudor, is the Black Bay Chrono, which is something that you have.
Not planned, but I have one I have mine on my desk right now in a very similar configuration
Yeah.
with a
And
third-party Jubilee. So might as well say it now, Praka. So Black Bay Chrono has been updated, or at least I should say 5 link bracelet that they
mm,
released for. I think it first came out. I think was it the pink Chrono. Yeah,
yes.
it first
Yep.
came out on the pink Chrono and then got
The
released on the
blue.
boutique blue,
Yep.
and then finally made its way down onto the regular. I think the black and the white dial Black Bay Chronos,
Yeah.
which I think is like a great move because the bracelet, I think it's what, like a 22 to 18 mil bracelet, so it is quite
Yeah.
a chunky bricky bracelet. And I got mine on a third party Jubilee, quite similar to the OEM one, and I think that has basically changed the whole wearing experience. So you've got a taper from 22 to 16 mil, clasp is probably around 18 mil wide. So yeah, streamlines the wearing experience. It is also quite a thick watch, so I think the Jubilee really helps it wear better.
Yeah, Jubilee just I don't know, just adds that dressy element, doesn't it? I mean, we're wearing two watches right now that both have Jubilee on it. I reckon it's arguably one of the best bracelets that have been released of Rolex, I think, originally, who did the Jubilee bracelet. And so you have to give them credit for that. And yeah, it definitely makes it wear just that drape, doesn't it? You just get that drape off the,
Exactly. That
yeah, so
taper.
that taper, that drape, so it looks good. So yeah, I think we went through the entire Tudor catalog, but I think it warranted it. There were some pretty cool releases there that came out. Yeah, and I think we're going to round it out with something a little bit different. This is the Tag Heuer Formula One Solograph. Now, Tag released something very similar to this
Last year,
last
the year
year.
before? Was it the Kith collaboration one, or did they do another one since?
No, it was the Keith collaboration one, and when this came out, I think a lot of people scoffed at it. They were excited for what it was, which was the iconic Tag Heuer Formula One watches of the 90s. And I think it was that was it even back to the 80s or was it, I think it was the 90s. And you had that plastic style, or is it like a rubber bracelet, and the funky colors, and it was a bit of nostalgia, I think, for a lot of people. So yeah, it was 1986 actually, the Formula One series was released. So but the Kith model was a collaboration with the streetwear brand, and I think it was really cool to see it back. We spoke just, well, I think, with Nick Farrell. He mentioned that when they released the Kith model, he sells these, the vintage ones anyway. The price of them just skyrocketed, and then sort of came back down eventually. And no doubt, this release, which is the Solograph, is going to be the same. It is very similar, of course, in the design. It still has the different colors and it's very bold, it's very bright, but it comes with this the solograph movement, which is the movement that they've used for another model.
Is it the same movement they've used in the divers that they have?
Yep. Yep. I believe it's the same one. And it has it's a caliber
Like the
TH
Citizen,
15.
the Citizen rebranding one, right?
That's right. So it is based, yes, it's basically a citizen movement, which is a good thing, I would say. I would say, okay, definitely not a bad thing. And yes, so it's the E1. I think it's called the E168. That's what it is. Yep, which is great. But again, like a lot of tags, they are priced quite ambitious, I would say, for what it is. I mean, you're looking at the rubber, the ones on the rubber strap and the resin type case. I think they call it a poly light. Was it
Okay.
poly light?
Polylights, yeah.
Which I think it's like another moon swatch type thing. I mean, but I think that's what it is. It's like a very lightweight case, almost feels like a resin type
Yeah.
case, some sort of plastic resin type case, and yeah, you're looking at nearly 2000 US dollars for this in the. I think it's about 2000 US dollars for these
Yeah.
in
So probably
this.
around what 3.5K Australian, which is it's probably you could get a solar tag diver for that
Yes,
money.
exactly. You can get a much higher spec watch, and $3,000. That's $3,300. That's secondhand Tudor
Correct.
territory. That's almost a Black Bay 58. That's a lot of money for what is essentially. I mean, definitely cool designs and definitely a lot of nostalgia. Tag Heuer is back sponsoring the Formula One,
F1.
which is, I think, pretty iconic, pretty cool. And I think in terms of branding, they've probably hit the nail on the head. They're capitalizing on the fact that they're in now. They're back in the Formula One. They're showing everyone or the whole world that, hey, this is our brand now, back on the big stage, and here's some watches if you guys want to play along at home. So as much as I don't like the price of these things, I think it's a cool alternative to getting something. I guess if you're looking for a fun watch
Yeah.
and
Quirky.
quirky watch, you can get this. But The Moon Swatch essentially does something similar in terms of a quirky different piece, but for a lot less money. So I guess it just depends. How invested are you in Formula One and Tag Heuer to buy one of these?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if how many people wear these on the wrists. I think crowds especially, right? When during
Hmm.
Formula F1 race days.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is one of the race drivers to wear it, right? And then you're gonna you're gonna see people go, oh yeah, I want to get one of
Yeah,
these. But yeah, don't I mean the solar movement, yes, it's a rebranded Citizen movement, and Citizen. There's a reason why they use it. Citizen is the best, I would say, in terms of solar technology. The eco drive technology and all the solar technology is fantastic. So there's a reason why they use it. So I think if anything, that's a plus for
agreed.
this model. That was all the watches that we wanted to talk about in terms of watches and wonders. I know, like I said, it's a little bit different to what we normally do, but it's nice to, be aware of what's out there, what's been released in the industry. And I think not long, yeah, maybe in a little while we'll come back and we'll do the other event that happened. It was at the Boy Rivage, which had a bit more micro brands and stuff. If Eddie would like to come back on,
Of
or I will
course.
just share one myself. But yes, so it'd be good to chat about those as well. Okay, thanks for that. Of course, we like to wrap up the episode with something interesting section. Eddie, as a guest, what do you want to talk about today?
Yes, so recently my wife and I have been binging Severance, which is an Apple TV show. It's also directed by Ben Stiller, funnily enough. And
Huh,
the reason why I say that is Ben Stiller, we know him from, was it Is it Zoolander?
Zoolander. Yep.
Zoo. He's on Zoolander,
Zoolander
so
and Meet the Fockers, all that. Yep.
yeah, there you go. All the funny comedy type of movies, and Severance is quite the opposite. It's kind of like very dystopian. If you like Black Mirror, Westworld, those type of TV shows, and you like it. A quick Google of it says Severance explores a psychological thriller set at Lumon Industries, where employees undergo a procedure that surgically divides their memories from work and real life, leading to a darkly surrealist exploration of workplace alienation and a conspiracy thriller.
Hmm. I really like this kind of shows.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nice, also like a bit of a thought experiment. So highly
Yeah.
recommend everyone watch it. Not too dark, so I think that's good. It's not
Okay.
like Black Mirror where you watch one or two episodes and
Mm.
then you're like, okay, I just need to
I
not
need
watch anything else. I just need to sit down with my thoughts and
uh I
contemplate
need some
life.
space. Oh, GME. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't have Apple TV, so I'm gonna need to watch it at some point when I can see it when someone actually has it. All right. Well, I guess I'll say my something interesting. I'll also keep it as a TV show. I've been watching two TV shows actually. One on Prime and one on Netflix. I finished the one on Prime, not quite finished the one on Netflix. Very different to Severance. I'll start off with Reacher. Reacher is basically it's the stories of Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher is I don't know if anyone knows Jack Reacher, but it was a movie that it was actually a series of books by I think Lee Child or Jim Grant. But there was a movie made with Tom Cruise back in the day, and this is it's just a TV show adaptation of it. It's ridiculous. It's high octane. It's action. It's big muscly guys. Gunfire, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes when I don't really want to think too much and I just want to watch something which is a bit you know, I can switch off my brain. Something like this is great, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I actually think I actually quite enjoy it. It's a bit of a detective style, investigating style show that sometimes is a bit ridiculous, but not completely ridiculous. Anyway, I recommend it. I think it's pretty cool show to watch. And I think it was season. I think I just finished watching season three. That's it. I just finished watching season three, and there's going to be more, I believe. I think it got renewed again, but yeah, definitely something to
Yeah,
check out. And what else? I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen Blue Mountain State. It's a comedy.
I haven't actually.
Haven't seen?
Blue
Okay,
Mountain Sea.
Blue. I think it's called Blue Mountain State. Anyway, it's like it's like a one of those like college frat comedies, like it's ridiculous, it's a bit crazy. Yeah. So the main actor in Preacher is Alan Ritchson, and if you've watched that and then watched this, you'll be like, whoa, completely different. He's like a complete Chad in Plymouth State in that
Yeah,
role.
I can see that already. I'm looking
Yeah.
through the cast list of Reacher, and we have Brian T. He was DK Drift King in Tokyo Drift. I've always wondered what happened to Drift King
Oh,
in Tokyo Drift.
oh, I didn't put two and two together. Yes, okay, because
Yeah,
in this season of Reacher, actually, Brian T is in he he does really well actually. Just gonna say he's a really good actor. Pretty scary. And yes, DK Drift King. There you go. Yeah. And yeah, he looks a bit different without his beard in or the goatee style thing that he had in Reacher compared to Tokyo Drift. But oh, nice little connection there.
very cool.
And did I mention though I had another Netflix show as well? I'll save that for another time. But yes, Reacher, definitely something that you would want to watch something, clear your head a bit. Yeah, you watch that. Check it out. That's it. Come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much, Eddie, for joining in and
My
chatting
pleasure.
watches and wonders. We should do this again soon.
Hope to be back on soon then.
Sounds good.
Thank you for having
Well,
me.
you're welcome. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. And yeah, if there's nothing else, we'll leave it there. Cheers.
Catch you guys.
Thank you for listening to Overtime the Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on our Instagram at Overtime the Podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, or flick me an email on overtimethepod@gmail.com. I appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics that you would like the podcast to cover in the future, please hit us up. Until next time.